Hello, I want to play a game.
Hey guys, it's me, Scottie the Trainer. Thanks for joining me for Scottie the Trainer Tuesdays. And I have my friend Jigsaw here, right? Because today is Halloween. So, happy Pumpkin Day to all of you that are out there. Wishing you the best. Hey, listen, today I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and I wanted to talk to you not about trick or treat, not to talk to you about Halloween, but I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk to you about being broken and blessed. Being broken and blessed. So we think about Halloween time, right? And not just about masks or trick or treating or whatever activity that kids may be involved in or families may involved in. But we also think about the jack-o'-lantern, right? We look at the jack-o'-lantern, the pumpkin, and we take the pumpkin, and some people take the pumpkins and they put them on their front step, and they set them there. They don't do anything with them. They just set the pumpkin there, and that's fine. It's a sign of harvest time. It's a sign of fall, and that's fine. Other people like to draw little faces on them and put them out there. But in the pitch black, dark of night, you can't really see whether or not there's a face on there. Now, you could cut a hole in the top of the pumpkin, take all the insides out, and put a candle in there. But all that's going to do is melt the inside of the pumpkin. So you don't really know the light that's shining through the pumpkin that shows us the face until something happens, right? Until you carve it. Until that pumpkin in some aspects is broken. And when that's broken, you can put the light that's on the inside of it and it shines through the brokenness. So now you can see that there's a face there. You can see the eyes and the mouth and the different designs that people can put on pumpkins because the light on the inside can shine outward because of the brokenness. And that's really what I wanted to talk about here today. A lot of people in life don't know what's in them until there's a breaking there. Just like that pumpkin that looks like a beautiful design and you can put a face on it. But no one really knows what that face looks like until it's carved out. It's broken. And somebody had to cut the pumpkin and dissect the pumpkin and reach in and pull. My grandmother said, we got to get the guts of the pumpkin out of there. And so somebody reach in and pull the guts out and then carved with a knife, cut the face and the eyes. Now, the pumpkin's an inanimate object, but if you were to ask the pumpkin, it would say, why are you doing this to me? Why are you cutting a hole in the top of my life? Why are you taking everything out that I've worked so hard to grow inside of me? Why are you cutting the front of me? Why are you breaking me? But then once we put that candle on the inside of it, the candle shines through it. And then at night, we see the flickering light that's on the inside through the brokenness of the pumpkin. The pumpkin doesn't realize that the light only shines through it when it's broken. Wow, that's a powerful thought right there. Because you and I don't really realize that the light that's in us, the inspiration that's in us, the motivation, the education that's in us, doesn't shine out of us because of our greatness. It shines out of us because of our brokenness. Our being blessed blesses others through our brokenness. When I was in college, there was a priest. There was a very successful priest of a very large parish. And I had the opportunity for about 8 months to serve with him in a internship capacity. And I remember one day walking down the hallway of that great church, and he said to me one day when we were talking, I said, wow, how many years have you been here? And he said, I don't know, something like 20 years, 19, 20 years. And he said, do you know that every lesson that I learned came from a mistake? And I thought, whose mistake? And he stopped and looked me dead in the eye and he goes, mine. Every lesson I learned in 20 years here at this parish was because of a mistake that I made. Because of a broken path in his life, he found and learned a lesson from it to be blessed. Blessed out of the brokenness. Broken, but then blessed. How many speakers are on the circuit right now? Women that have been abused. They went through the brokenness, almost died at the hands of vicious men that were pure abusers. And now they're on the circuit talking to other women, helping them inspire their life, helping them continue to rise up and move on. And many of them help those women not make the same mistakes that they made, because out of their brokenness, they were blessed to help someone else. You know, there's two ways to learn. We learn from our own mistakes and we learn from other people's mistakes. Now, how many of you watching this would rather learn from everybody else's mistakes? Go ahead and lift your hand and say yes. But most of the time, the lessons that stick with us are the ones that came from ourselves. You know, there's a great story that was told to me by a Jewish rabbi. And he said that there was a time in the Jews' history that there was a leader by the name of Gideon. And Gideon had 300 men. And those 300 men defeated an army of multiple thousands of people. He said, here's how they did it. At night, while that larger army was asleep, Gideon and his band of 300 surrounded that army at night. They took clay pots, and inside the clay pots, they put lights. And they would light those lights up like a candle. And they all decided at the count of 3, they were going to break the pots. And they counted 1, 2, 3, and they broke the pots. And all across the enemy's camp, all they could see was lights that were lighting up everywhere. But here's what I want you to understand. The blessing of the lights were no good until the pots were broken. He said what happened was when the pots were broken and the lights shone, the enemy was so distracted and so discombobulated because they were asleep. They woke up, they started attacking each other. And Gideon's band of 300 men ended up winning a great victory that day. All because of broken pots. No one knows what's in us until there's some breaking that takes place. Even the story of Jesus breaking the loaves and fish. The loaves and fish, nothing happened until he took them and he broke them. Out of our brokenness comes a blessing. Use that blessing to help others in their brokenness so they also might be blessed. And don't play a game, but play for keeps. I'm Scottie the trainer. That's how I see it.